Alright, listen up, boys and girls. I have two things to tell you. You might be interested in both of them, hopefully. You'll at least be interested in one of them, I think, given the way this YouTube channel is. First thing I want to say is that I'm going on another living room tour starting in just 2 weeks. So this time I'm going with my friend Steven Kemner, who is part of Hotel Neon and has his own project. He's going to be opening for me, and we're going to be in like the Northeast, Northern Midwest United States. Let's see if I can remember the places without looking. So it's starting in Chicago, Illinois, Grand Rapids, Detroit, Cleveland, Rochester, New York, Schenectady, and then we go to Boston, and then we're in Dobbs Ferry, New York, and then we're in Brooklyn, New York, and then Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Columbus, Ohio, and then ending it off in Indianapolis, Indiana. So that's where we're going. You can go to lowercasenoises.com/tour for tickets. Some of them are pretty close to selling out already, and some of them still have pre-sale early bird tickets that are $5 off, so you can get those. Those expire pretty soon. And here's a special thing for YouTube, because you guys are the reason I have this career in the first place anyway, but you can use the code YouTube for 15% off any of the general admission tickets. So that's just for you guys. So lowercasenoises.com/tour, go to the ticketing links and use the code YouTube for 15% off. So that's all I'll say about that. I hope I can see some of you guys there. This is the third living room tour, and I think they're amazing and the most fun and best way to play this music and experience it. So that's all I'll say about that. But what I want to do now is show you a little bit of an overview of the live rig that I use. I'm pretty proud of it. I'm pretty proud of what we can do with a very relatively small amount of equipment in a small space and make it sound pretty killer. So let's go. We're gonna move from the the control room to the live room. Here we go. All right, into the live room. All right, this is kind of the overview. That's pretty much it. The whole thing. Pedalboard, Ableton controller, MIDI keyboard, looper, and then the important part is all there. So let's look at the brains here. I'm gonna turn this on. All right, everything's turning on now. So what we've got here is a Behringer XR18 mixer, and this is the brains of the whole thing. So the coolest thing about this, it's got 16 inputs, multiple headphone mixes, main outputs here. It's got built-in Wi-Fi, so you can mix from an iPad. That's typically what we do. The people opening for me will mix my set from the back of the room with an iPad, and I'll mix theirs, you know, vice versa. So the only thing I have going in is my guitar, stereo signal, and it's all software amps. And actually this time I'm not even gonna use a software amp. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And then we've got MIDI out here. That's to control 3 or 4 of my pedal things going on my board, and then USB, so I'm using a lot of software returns and Ableton, sending some tracks and piano and stuff, and that's actually coming back into the mixer via USB. So that's cool. Down here, this is a wireless in-ear pack receiver transmitter thing, because I need in-ears to hear what I'm doing, and because I need a click for certain songs. So that's the Sennheiser unit is. Down here is just a headphone amp, so if that wireless goes down for whatever reason, this is a separate mix, but you know, kind of a backup for now. And then this little guy, let me see if I can get it to focus. There we go. This is the first time I'm going to use this on tour. It's a Universal Audio satellite, so it's basically just a processor. That's all it is, and it goes in via lightning cable to my computer. So what's going to happen is, I'm going to run everything on my pedal board into here, and then I'm going to use Ableton Live for my guitar sound. But what I actually, since this is processing plugins not on my computer, I can run some pretty heavy-duty plugins without any detriment to my computer. So like I'm running an API preamp, and then an Oxide tape emulator, and then a really nice compressor. Focus, come on. So that's cool. That's something I'm trying out this time. So that's kind of the brains of it. Usually my computer sits up here. I don't have it up right now. And yeah, so this is the brains. This XR18 is one of the coolest pieces of gear I have. And then before I forget, the mains we're bringing with us are these, let's see, these QSC K12s. These are amazing speakers. And, you know, they're not too big, obviously, but the key is this deep switch. So you put the deep switch on and these things have an insane amount of bass. I was considering a setup with smaller mains and a sub, but then once I heard the low end that these guys could put out, it's like, I don't need a sub. So the rest of it is fairly simple. MIDI keyboard for piano parts. I don't use any of this stuff up here, purely just for sounds. And then this is the Akai APC40. Since I'm running Ableton for the whole show, this is just a controller for it. So launching scenes for launching different songs. Obviously I can kind of mix myself with all these, you know, this one I think is my guitar, and then other, you know, piano, other instruments, blah, 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 backing tracks, all that cool stuff. I can turn, you know, metronome on and off right there, and I have some special mappings up here to control different reverb and delay plugins for guitar and piano and stuff. So that's pretty much it. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes there, but you know, just an Ableton controller. So then the pedalboard stuff, only things to really note here are the MIDI stuff, which is fun. So I've got 4 daisy-chained MIDI units coming from the XR18. Boomerang looper, obviously this will be receiving a clock signal. So if my computer was on, this would be blinking in time with Ableton. So it's, as I loop, it stays in sync with the click and the song and all that, which is great. And then over here, this is the Disaster Area DPC8 Easy, and it has MIDI. So there's 8 channels for 8 loops, 8 pedals, and Ableton controls this too. So as the song goes along, you know, these will turn on and off for me. I don't have to, you know, tap dance very much, which is sweet. One of my favorite features about it. That's why I use it. It's awesome. And then I do have MIDI controlling both of these guys, Timeline and Big Sky. So at certain points, Ableton is actually controlling the looper for me. It'll record a loop and then fade it in and out for the whole song, which is fun. And changing presets, obviously. So all this is daisy chained. You know, they're just on different MIDI channels, and yeah, this has all been fun to figure out. Oh, the very last thing, I don't have it set up, but my laptop's usually there, like I said, and there's usually a HDMI cable coming out to a projector, you know, that would project against the wall behind the performance. And Ableton is creating some reactive visuals there that make the show even cooler. So that's just a quick overview. I'm thinking about doing a more extensive Facebook post about the way this stuff works, and especially the more in the box stuff, so for the visuals and the plugins and whatever. Oh, and very last thing, I said I wasn't using a software amp. That's because I think I'm just gonna start going with the cab filter on for that Big Sky. It just applies an EQ curve, and you don't even need an amp. I think it sounds pretty cool. Anyway, that's it. Yeah, if you have some questions, I'll answer them. And I hope to see you at a show. That would be really great. You can see how I use all this junk. See if it's actually cool or not. I think it is. All right, thank you guys. And remember, use the code YouTube at lowercasenoises.com/tour for your ticket. You can get 15% off because you're the best. All right, thanks guys. See ya.